The Arab Monetary Fund lists Iraq in the Arab Capital Markets Database. September 3, 2019, 7:41 p.m. Author, Al-Zahar Paper. Baghdad Zara. The Arab Monetary Fund revealed the inclusion of the Iraqi market for securities officially in the System of Arab Financial Markets database at the fund, as of the beginning of September 2019. The Arab Monetary Fund, in a statement, that the number of Arab financial markets joined the base fund data rose to 17 markets with the Iraqi market joining. The Iraqi Stock Exchange currently includes 95 companies, including 28 banks and 5 insurance companies, 23 services, finance and investment companies, 2 companies in the telecommunications sector. In addition to 21 companies in the industrial sector, 10 companies in the hotel and tourism sector, and 6 companies in the agriculture sector. The total market value of the market at the end of 2018 about 11.356 trillion Iraqi dinars, equivalent to $9.1 billion, and thus ranked 13th among the Arab financial markets in the market value. The fund said that it began to calculate a special index for the Iraqi market for securities, based on data as at July 31, 2019 as a base period. The sample of the index of the fund for the Iraqi market for the securities of 43 companies, representing a market value of about 80% of the total value of the market as it is at the end of 2018. It is noteworthy that the Arab Monetary Fund calculates, in addition to the indicators of the financial markets joining its database, a general composite index, measuring the performance Arab financial markets combined, including the Iraq Stock Exchange as of September 1, 2019. The central bank begins steps to join the official Monetary and Financial Policy Forum, OMFIF. September 5, 2019. The Central Bank of Iraq has begun steps to join the official Forum of Monetary and Financial Institutions, OMFIF, an independent global think tank for central banks, pension funds, and financial institutions with investment assets worth $36.2 trillion. Membership in this forum provides insight into the key topics of investment and 2 integrated channels of analysis and meetings, through high-level exchanges and content, as well as participation in meetings with the International Monetary Fund, the Bank of England, and the German Central Bank. The accession process also benefits from capacity building opportunities for mid-level and senior staff. OMFIF develops projects for members in London, Singapore, Washington, and other global financial centers. Central Bank of Iraq Information Office, September 5, 2019. Trump, Dow Jones would have risen 10,000 points without the trade war. September 4, 2019. President Donald Trump said that trade war with China have hurt the performance of the U.S. stock market, but it was the face of economic practices that are harmful to the United States. Trump told reporters at the White House on Wednesday, "Let me tell you, if you do not want to do something with China, the stock market will rise by 10,000 points than it is now, but we are forced to do so." By 6:35 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.8% to 26,329 points. Trump increased tariffs on Chinese imports over the weekend in a bid to urge Beijing to resume talks on a long-term trade deal. The president said, "We will see what happens. If the Chinese want to make a deal, they will make a deal, and if they do not want, this is good." Trump had previously said the Dow would have been 10,000 points higher if the U.S. Federal Reserve did not raise interest rates last year. China and America to hold trade negotiations in October. September 5, 2019, 8:30. Chinese and U.S. negotiators will hold a new round of negotiations in Washington in early October, the Commerce Ministry said Thursday. The announcement followed an earlier call between Chinese Vice Premier Liu He, U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer, and U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, the Commerce Ministry said in a statement on its website. Chinese Central Bank Governor Ye Gang also took part in the contacts. Trade teams from the 2 countries will hold consultations in mid-September, the ministry said, adding that the 2 sides agreed to take effective measures to create a favorable atmosphere. The negotiations, originally scheduled for this month, were postponed after the 2 countries exchanged new tariffs on September 1. With inflation jumping 500%. President of Zimbabwe, economic reform is moving at the fastest pace. September 4, 2019. Zimbabwean President Emmanuel Mnangagwa stressed that economic reforms are going at the fastest pace possible, amid the suffering of the country's currency crisis and runaway inflation. In an interview with Bloomberg Television on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Africa, the president said they were moving at the pace that could be achieved. He continued, "We know where we want to go, and I am in charge of the country, and I must look at what is necessary to revive and develop our economy." Zimbabwe is suffering from a 230 to 570% inflation rate, economists estimate, and the economy is on track to record its first contraction since 2008. Mnangagwa pledged to re-engage with the international community and attract the investment needed to spur economic growth in the South African country. There are resources at their disposal, Mnangagwa said. We have to use the resources we have, and we must create an environment to attract global capital. Zimbabwe has been hit by serious economic problems in the past period, coinciding with the abolition of its local currency, the Zimbabwean dollar, before it reintroduced earlier this year. On the other hand, Mnangagwa pointed to the improvement of relations with the United States, saying, I am pleased that the dialogue with the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump is continuing, and happy with the progress made so far, which has not happened over the past 20 years. The removal of U.S. sanctions, which applied to Mnangagwa himself, is one of the list of hurdles for the Zimbabwean president that he must tackle in order to revive the economy.